What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto met Akeno in high school DxD, and her lightning couldn't shock the demon fox inside him? If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments. And also check the description to original creator of this beautiful creation. Naruto blinked his eyes rapidly as his sense of hearing slowly came back to him. A stray Bijudama had shattered his eardrum when it impacted near him. Nar-tu? A voice called out to Naruto, but he couldn't make out what was said. The words had been muffled by the ringing in his ear. Naruto shook his head to try to get rid of the noise and looked to the person who was trying to catch his attention. A hand reached down and pulled him up by the arm before he could get a good look at him. Time? The voice sounded urgent. Naruto finally got a good look at the man and recognized the familiar shock of vibrant yellow hair. "To-chan?" he mumbled in confusion. Finally the annoying ringing in his ear subsided and he was assaulted by the sounds of war once again. He could clearly hear his father's next words. "Naruto, we have to hurry. There's not much time left," Minato said in a hurried tone. Without waiting for a response from his son, he teleported them both to the edge of the battlefield using his Hireishin. Standing in wait were the Shodem and Sandame Hokage, Senju Hashirama and Sarutobi Hiruzen respectively. Immediately after they arrived, the Nidame Senju Tobirama appeared in a similar flash of light with Sasuke in tow. Seeing as the Hokages were mere reanimations, they were almost completely unscathed, save for Minato's missing arm. However, both Naruto and Sasuke were battered beyond belief. "Saru, any news?" Tobirama looked at Sarutobi. Whether intentional or not, Sarutobi straightened just a little bit. As you could probably see, it seems that Madara is preoccupied rounding up the released Biju. Hiruzen gestured behind him where in the far distance Madara could be seen doing battle with a few of the Biju. Tobirama nodded. He exchanged glances with Minato. "Then it is time we put that technique into play." Hashirama frowned. He turned to Naruto and Sasuke and bowed lowly. "I deeply apologize, you two. You have seen so much death today. All of your peers." Sasuke scowled. "Enough theatrics, what technique are they talking about?" He cut the bowing man off mid-sentence. Naruto, having finally regained his bearings, frowned and crossed his arms. "Yeah, what the hell's going on here?" He made a head gesture behind him. "Can't you tell we got a madman we gotta stop?" He pushed the thoughts of his fallen friends from his mind. He couldn't use guilt and sorrow to fight. He had more important things to do right now than brood. Hashirama stood straight and looked to Minato. "Yondaime?" Minato sighed deeply. "It's a forbidden technique. Tobirama Dono had begun working on it before his death and I did a little bit of research about it while I was Hokage." Tobirama's expression hardened. He bent low and picked up a stray branch. Enough beating around the bush. He began to draw a complex formula onto the ground. "Tell them already." Hashirama breathed deeply. "Put simply, we can't stop Madara." Naruto's eyes widened. "What do you mean we can't?" "Perhaps if this had happened while you were adults it could have been stopped, but the simple matter is we're not strong enough." Hashirama admitted. "I wasn't expecting him to awaken the Rinnegan, nor could I have predicted the combined powers of both eyes to be so powerful." Tobirama continued to draw the formula but he grunted in agreement nonetheless. "You should have burned his body on sight, Hashirama." He chided. Hashirama sighed. "Perhaps so, but now is not the time for regrets. Now is the time for action." Naruto nodded. "I get that, so what's the plan to beat him then?" Sarutobi shook his head sadly. "There is no plan, I'm afraid." He took a step forward. "Naruto, Sasuke-kun, I have known you since you were both young children. You each showed some of the best qualities a shinobi can possess. Talent." He looked to Sasuke. "Hard work." He looked at Naruto. "I see you both as my family, and I have failed you both time and time again, and for that, I apologize." Naruto felt tears well up in the corner of his eyes. What are you saying, Ji-chan?" Sasuke's eyes narrowed. "Sandame, I have no need for your apologies. You did what was expected of the Hokage, nothing more, nothing less. Now, explain what's happening." Sarutobi nodded. "Very well. From what Minato-kun has told me, the formula Tobirama-sensei is drawing as we speak is a complex, extremely difficult and potentially fatal time-space technique." Minato stepped forward. "Allow me, Sandame-sama." At Sarutobi's nod he looked at the two teens. The technique will, put simply, rip a hole in the fabric of space and time and transport whatever's in the circle to another dimension. Naruto's mouth gaped. Another dimension? You mean like the Kamui? Minato shook his head. No, Kamui transports an object into a very specific dimension unique to its user. Tobirama Dono's research implies that there are an infinite number of dimensions. This technique simply chooses the closest dimension to our own, going by the dimensional rift theory postulated by Tobirama Dono and myself. What does that mean for us though? Naruto pressed, not really understanding his father's explanation. Usara Tonkachi, it means they intend on sending us to another dimension. Sasuke said coldly. Naruto's eyes widened. He looked at his father to see him nod solemnly. What? We can't just leave. That goddamn monster is still there, and the log be damned before I give up on taking him down. Sasuke nodded in agreement. I don't usually agree with Naruto, but this plan is one I don't agree with. Hashirama stepped forward. We don't have much choice. Almost all of the remaining forces of the Shinobi Alliance have either given up, or are dead. As reanimated beings, we're vulnerable to truth-seeking balls, and once he captures the remaining Biju we'll be all but useless. Then we just have to stop him from. We can't. Naruto. Can't you understand that? Minato raised his voice in anger. He then hung his head. He moved forward and pulled Naruto into a tight hug. He caressed Naruto's head softly. We're not strong enough, son, and both you and Sasuke-san are on the last bit of chakra left to survive. We, the last generation, have failed you. He pulled back. He was visibly holding back tears. I wanted to see the cycle of hatred end, and I was and still am willing to die for that dream, but not if I had to sacrifice my son. Naruto glared at Minato through teary eyes. Damn it, Two-chan, so am I. I'm ready to fight him. Please, Naruto, allow me this one selfish wish? Minato pleaded. It's my wish that you may get to live long in a peaceful world. If the one you go to isn't such a place, I have every confidence you will fight until it is one. I believe that you'll find peace. It's who you are and who you'll always be. So please, Naruto, go along with it. Naruto hesitated, his eyes wander from face to face as he reads their solemn expressions. But, 75 seconds until the array is complete. Tobirama announced as he worked tirelessly on the seal. Naruto looked at Sasuke. Sasuke stared into Naruto's eyes sharply. Even I realize that I can't face Madara alone. If you leave, I won't be strong enough to end him. If you leave, I'll have little choice but to go with you or die, and I'm not going to fade quietly into the eternal night. Naruto looked away and sighed. Fine. Minato smiled in relief. He reached into his pouch and grabbed a small scroll. Here, Naruto. I managed to pick it up on the way over here in case I couldn't tell you about it. It contains things I know you'll find useful. He presented the scroll to Naruto. Naruto grabbed it gently. Thanks, Two-chan. Oh, that reminds me. Hashirama suddenly said. He looked at Tobirama. Did you? He was cut off as a scroll was thrown at him. He caught it easily. I found it easily. You never did have good hiding spots. Tobirama said in monotone, never once deviating from the seal. Hashirama managed a small smile despite the situation. Thanks. He turned to Naruto. In this scroll are some very advanced chakra control techniques I created and some of my theories on how nature chakra affects the body. It's not much, but I want you to have it. He handed it to Naruto. Naruto accepted the scroll and nodded. Thanks, Hashirama Oja-san. He pocketed both scrolls in his pouch. 15 seconds. Yondaime, now is the time. Minato nodded. He immediately moved towards the edge of the seal array. Tobirama finished the seal and tossed the branch aside. He looked at Naruto and Sasuke. Well, get in the middle. He said succinctly. Numbly, Naruto found himself stepping inside the circle, accompanied by the ever-stoic Sasuke. When they reached the center, Naruto felt a small shove on his shoulder. He turned his head to see Sasuke staring at him pointedly. Sasuke, get your act together, he said simply. If Naruto didn't know any better, he'd say those were words of encouragement. Minato exchanged glances with Tobirama. We're beginning now. Naruto looked at his father. Two-chan, how are you going to use hand seals when you only one arm? I'll guide the chakra to make sure everything proceeds smoothly. Tobirama Dono will cast the seals. Ah. Without another word, the two Hokage set to work. Minato crouched low and placed his forefinger and middle on the edge of the seal. The Nidaime began casting hand seals at an impressive rate. In no time the seal began to glow a brilliant azure as chakra was being charged into it. The two other Hokage remained vigilant in case Madara caught wind of their plot. Luckily for them, it seemed the Uchiha Patriarch had deemed them as non-important at the moment. It seemed the Biju were putting up a stronger fight than expected. Naruto idly wondered if they had an idea of what was about to happen and were trying to keep him occupied for them. The next few minutes were as equally tense as it was quiet and everyone was on high alert. More than once Naruto fired a kunai at what he thought was a strange noise only to realize it was the idle thrum coming from the seal formula as more chakra was poured into it. He quickly realized the phrase, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool my 5 times, shame on me," aptly applied to him right now. In other circumstances his face would have burned in embarrassment. Suddenly the blue light became blinding. Naruto and Sasuke raised a hand to cover the eyes. If one were to look at it from afar, it would seem like a radiant star of power. Naruto exchanged glances with Sasuke. He then looked at his father. "How sure are we that this is gonna work?" he shouted over the thrum of chakra. Minato gave Naruto a sheepish smile. "About 70 to 30% sure. The biggest obstacle is the amount of chakra required to use this seal, but between Tobirama Dono and myself, the cost shouldn't be a concern." "Yondaime." Minato's expression became serious. "This is it, boys." He closed his eyes. Suddenly he was engulfed in a yellow flame-like aura. The low thrum became a booming roar as the massive quantity of chakra the Yin Kyuubi possessed was filtered into the seal. Naruto was forced to cover his ears. He saw his father mouth the words for Fuinjutsu, but he couldn't make out the rest of what was said. Naruto and Sasuke felt a pull that was nearly identical to the pull Kamui had when used. Their visions began to blur. The last thing Naruto managed to catch was his father's gentle smile before everything was covered in darkness and he and Sasuke slipped into the cold embrace of unconsciousness. Naruto wasn't sure how long they were stuck in between dimensions. It all felt like an instant to him, but he definitely felt when they were being pulled into their new dimension, and he definitely felt when he landed. It was time to wake up and face this new world. Naruto and Sasuke regained consciousness. It happened in a brief instant. They both shot up quickly. Huh? What happened?" Naruto asked drowsily. He shook his head before looking around. They appeared to be in some sort of forest. "It worked then," Sasuke said coolly. "Seems like, but how can we tell?" Naruto questioned. "For now, we gather intel. Just to be safe, we should transform into other people," Sasuke responded. Naruto nodded and the two performed a simple henge technique. Naruto transformed into young girl around 10 in a dress, her short black hair hung loosely. Sasuke had transformed into a man around 35 with dark brown hair dressed in a comfortable long-sleeved shirt and pants. Sasuke glared at the little form of Naruto. "I really hate you sometimes, Naruto. Now it looks like we are a father and daughter pair. Why did you pick that form? I figured people would be less suspicious of a little girl than a teenage boy," he said in the voice of a young child. Sasuke could not refute Naruto's point, but held his glare for a short while after. Turning away, Sasuke gave a short "HN" before he began walking. As they exited the forest silently, they both gaped. "Whoa, those look like the things we rode in back in the land of snow," Naruto exclaimed. Sasuke quickly shook out of his stupor and pulled Naruto with him. "Come, we need to get more info," Sasuke said as he began walking down the street. After 2 hours of scouring the small town, the shinobi duo had found very little in terms of intel. It was nearing twilight now and the pair had stopped in a park, after dispelling their transformation, and brooded over their predicament. "I'm leaving," Sasuke said abruptly. Naruto turned in surprise. "What do you mean, leaving?" he asked. "I mean we're splitting up," he said simply. "Why? Right now we have no information on where we are. All we found out was the date. When we left, it was October, now it's late spring. It's pointless staying together, we should split up and try to find anything we can," Sasuke explained. Naruto admitted that Sasuke had a point, it just didn't sit right with him. "Besides, I'm going to be training. You keep those scrolls that the Hokages gave you. You need them more than I do." Naruto stared at Sasuke in shock before realizing that Sasuke had just challenged him. "Teme, just you watch, I'll find where we are and train so hard you'll be left in the dust." Sasuke smirked. I still want to fight you, seriously fight you. One-on-one, all out. Asu. Train hard Teme. I want a challenge when we fight. Naruto challenged back with a confident grin. He knew Sasuke would be okay. The bastard was too stubborn to die, just like Naruto himself. Sasuke held out his fist and Naruto immediately bumped his with it. They pair nodded and turned away from each other. Sasuke left in a swirl of leaves and Naruto slowly walked out of the park. Even if I said all those things, it's still kinda lonely. He mumbled to himself as he walked away. By now, it was dark and had started to drizzle. Naruto, who had ignored the rain, walked on as he pondered where he would sleep that night. Naruto stopped in mid-stride as he felt a large burst of killing intent. What the hell? I gotta check this out, maybe it'll help me figure out where I am. He thought to himself. Taking to the rooftops, Naruto quickly reached where the killing intent was strongest. Looking towards the ground and lowering his presence, he saw two figures locking swords. He had barely noticed that it had started to pour. They were both around his age. One wore what looked like a school uniform the civilians wore. He had blonde hair that fell on his face. The other wore some type of robe. He had crazed look on his face. He had long white hair and was cackling loudly. In Naruto's opinion, they were sloppy with their movement or more as if they were not masters in kenjutsu like Zabuza or Kisame. Hell, he heard there was the samurai Mifune who was a master. The blonde guy seemed like he had more practice than the weird white-haired guy though, he had talent. In any case, they had caught his attention and he paid rapt attention to them. Unfortunately, he couldn't hear what they were saying but it looked like the blonde one was getting angry. Then the one with the stupid grin said something that made the blonde guy look shocked. Then his sword started to glow and a bright light flashed and he was gone from sight. I can still sense that weirdo, but I'll let it slide for this golden opportunity. Naruto thought as he silently hopped to the floor. The other boy was glaring at his hands, oddly enough. His sword had disappeared, and seemed to be mentally cursing. Oi, sword guy, Naruto called out. The boy whirled around, and a sword manifested in his hand. Hey, calm down. I'm not gonna attack ya, I just got some questions for ya. Naruto said lightly. What are you? I can't tell if you're an angel, devil or a fallen angel. The person asked. What the hell are you talking about? Angels? Devils? My name is Naruto. The boy lowered his sword slightly but kept a ready stance. I am Yuto Kiba, he said simply. Now answer me, what are you? Naruto frowned slightly. I'm a human, he said. Well, technically a Jinchuriki but he doesn't need to know that. Kiba seemed to be in thought. He looked back at Naruto and lowered his sword. You don't seem to be lying. Fine, you said you have questions, so do I'll take you to my master. Follow me, he told Naruto as he began to walk away, however he had kept his sword materialized. Naruto followed silently through the rain. He said, Master, so he's like a servant or something? He thought to himself. He followed him to a large building. Oi, Kiba right? What the hell is this? He asked to the other boy ahead. This is Kuo Academy, he said simply. Whoa, this is a school? It's at least 5 times bigger than the Shinobi Academy back in Konoha. Naruto exclaimed in his head. Kiba led Naruto to a smaller building off to the side. Entering inside, they ascended a flight of stairs and reached a door. Kiba knocked lightly before stepping inside. Naruto stayed back for a moment to see what happens. Yuto, you're back? He heard a female voice say almost in shock. Bucko, there's someone for you to meet. Kiba said with a somewhat detached tone. You can come in now. The woman called out to Naruto. Naruto stepped through the door and looked at the girl in front of him. She was about a year older than he was, with that rivaled Tsunade. She had long crimson hair and seemed to hold herself with a sense of regality. She was very pretty in Naruto's eyes. I'm Rias of the Gremory family, she said lightly. Ah, Uzumaki Naruto at your service. Nice to meet ya, Naruto said happily. He saw several couches and chairs but opted to stay standing because he was still wet. Bucko, he says he's a human, but I didn't sense him until he presented himself. Naruto heard Kiba whisper to her. She seemed shocked. What can I help you with? Is it a high-cost request then, Uzumaki-san? She spoke formally. Naruto's just fine, but no, I just have some questions. Alright, let's hear them Naruto-san. She said. Well, first of all, where are we? He asked. Rias raised an eyebrow. We're in a small town in the country of Japan. She said it almost sarcastically. Great, what's Japan? Rias was stumped. She was shocked that he did not even know where Japan was. I have a question of my own if you'll indulge me. Shoot, what are you? Naruto sighed. He did not want to reveal too much, but he had little choice if he wanted answers, and these people obviously had answers. Fine, but it's a little hard to believe. He told her. Try me. Well, I'm from a different dimension. He stated bluntly. She blinked in surprise. Really? She asked. Yep. Okay. What? That's it? Okay. Naruto asked in shock. Well, it's certainly rare, but not unheard of for people to travel dimensions. She spoke calmly. Now it was Naruto's turn to be surprised. Well, that clears some confusion up for me, she said as she sighed and crossed her arms under her massive bust. You're in the human world, on planet Earth, in the small country called Japan, she stated. Alright, that works for now. Naruto mumbled, filing that precious information away for later. Now what the hell are angels and devils? Instead of answering him, black bat-like wings grew from her back, as well as Kiba's back. Whoa, what the hell is that? He shouted. We are devils. I guess we could also go by demons in some circles, she explained. Demons, I see, even this world has demons, Naruto said softly. There were demons in your dimension? She asked. Yeah, but they're called Biju by us. They were huge and had monstrous power. There were 9 of them. Each had a set number of tails, with the highest being 9. Naruto said in a tone of reverie. You sound as if you knew them personally. Kiba finally interjected. You could say that. I'm what we call a Jinchuriki. Power of human sacrifice. Why? Rias asked, curiosity etched on her face. Naruto lifted his shirt and channeled a bit of chakra. His seal appeared, looking almost like a tattoo. This is the seal to keep the Kyuubi no Kitsune sealed inside me. We used to hate each other, but we made up and now we're precious comrades. He seems to be sleeping now. So it's almost like a sacred gear. Rias mumbled. Sacred what now? I'll tell you later. I have a feeling we will be seeing a lot of each other. However, back to angels and devils, she said. Right, now what are angels? Naruto asked, pulling down his shirt. Do you know of God from the Bible? Rias questioned. Not a clue. Is he like the holy log, or the Shinigami? Naruto responded. Holy log? Rias and Kiba asked in shock. Ah, I'll tell you later. Well, I guess you could call him Almighty Creator. Oh, you mean like Kami-sama? Yes, that makes things easier. Well, angels are his messengers and his warriors. They usually have white feathery wings growing out of their back. The more powerful, seraphs, have golden wings. I see, are they bad? Naruto asked. Well, it depends on who you ask. They are the natural enemies to us devils, but like humans, their personalities vary, but most of them believe in divine righteousness. All races have their share of good and bad. I see, is there peace? Naruto asked, his face serious for the first time since he entered the room. Rias looked taken aback at the sudden question. It's not so much as peace as it is a ceasefire. Between us devils, the angels and fallen angels. Naruto sighed and relaxed his face. Fallen angels, what are they? They are angels who have betrayed God. They gave in to desire and fell from heaven where God and his angels live, she explained. Ah, I see. Is that all, Naruto-san? Rias asked. Naruto looked embarrassed and scratched the back of his neck. Well, I was transported to this world a couple of hours ago, so I was wondering if you knew a place where I could stay. Rias giggled, all pretenses of seriousness gone. Naruto thought that she looked more natural that way. Yuto, will it be a bother for him to stay with you? Rias asked Kiba. Kiba looked more relaxed but still had an air of intensity about him. I don't mind. Are we done now, bucko? Rias sighed. Yes, we are. She sounded a little hurt by his tone. I don't think this Kiba guy acts like it usually. Something must have happened. Maybe it has something to do with that freaky guy earlier. Naruto pondered to himself. Can you bring Naruto-san here tomorrow before school? I'd like him to meet everyone else, plus we have more to discuss. Rias asked of Kiba. He nodded silently. She turned towards Naruto and smiled. Well then, I will see you tomorrow and introduce you to everyone. Got it, boss lady. Naruto grinned. Boss lady? Rias stammered. Ya nay. Come on Kiba, let's go, Naruto said loudly. Kiba sighed before stepping out the door. As Kiba led Naruto to his apartment, he was quiet. It stopped raining sometime while they were talking inside. Say, Kiba, are you okay with me staying with you? I mean, I could find someplace else. Kiba sighed before stopping and turning towards Naruto. I apologize if I came off as rude. I have a lot on my mind and I need time to think. I don't mind you staying at my apartment. He sounded calmer and less agitated. Kiba smiled lightly. He stuck his hand out and introduced himself. Sorry for being rude earlier. I'm Yuto Kiba, 17 and second year in high school. Without missing a beat, Naruto shook his hand. Uzumaki Naruto, 17 and genin rank shinobi. He responded lightly. He let go and started laughing. Ah, that's better. Say, Kiba, know any good places to eat? I'm starving. Kiba chuckled. Well, everything's closed now, but I'll make something when we get to my home. He promised. Asu, lead the way. Kiba nodded and started the trek to his home once again. He somehow felt like he could get along with his fellow blonde. He certainly was interesting company. However, Kiba made sure to file away the fact that Naruto claimed to be a shinobi. Naruto woke up early that morning. Since he had no pajamas, he had slept in his boxers. Sitting up on the bed in the guest room of Kiba's apartment, he surveyed the room. It was mostly Spartan in design. It had a bed, a dresser and a desk with a light. Sitting in a meditative position, Naruto started to gather nature chakra. Within a minute, he had entered Senin mode as red-orange eyeshadow-type pigmentation appeared on his eyelids. Nothing wakes you up better than Senin mode in the morning, Naruto said quietly. He closed his eyes and tried locating Sasuke in the town, but it seems like he had already left. Damn, I was hoping to be able to catch him before he left town. He complained. Ah well, he'll be fine. Naruto tried sensing Kiba in the next room and was a bit surprised at what he saw. Kiba's got a lot of energy built up, it looks ready to burst. So that's demonic energy that devils use. It's almost like chakra in a way, he said to himself. After letting Senin mode disappear, he began to do some light exercises to warm himself up. As he was in the middle of his push-ups, Kiba knocked on his door. Naruto-san, are you up? He asked through the door. 27, 28, yeah. Come in, I'm just warming up. 32, Naruto answered. He stood up and wiped off an invisible sheen of sweat. Kiba opened the door and walked in. Unaffected by his roommate's state of undress, he said politely. The shower is open. I washed your clothes last night so they should be dry by now. If you put your dirty clothes in the washer, I'll make sure they're washed by the time you get out. Naruto flushed in embarrassment. Sorry for all the trouble. I'll make sure to pay you back when I can. Kiba smiled in that polite way of his. He nodded and left the room. 45 minutes later finds a freshly washed Naruto and Kiba walking towards Kuo Academy. The first traces of dawn breaching over the horizon. So this group Rias wants me to meet, who are they? Naruto asked as he walked down the road. Officially we are a school club called the Occult Research Club, but it's a cover for Bucko and her peerage. The other members are who you are going to meet. We are all devils, Kiba explained. Peerage? What's that? I think it's better if Bucko explains it to you. She would be able to explain it better. Kiba answered. Ah, the rest of the trip was spent in a comfortable silence. Soon enough, they reached the Occult Research Building and entered. Kiba knocked politely before entering. Shrugging behind him, Naruto entered as well. Era, this is the boy you were talking about, Bucko? Said a girl around Rias' age. She had long black hair tied into a high ponytail and dark eyes with long lashes. Naruto thought she had an Oni-sama type of look going for her. He blushed as he realized that her were a little bigger than Rias. He certainly is pleasing to the eyes. Ufufu. Yes, Akeno, this boy traveled from a different dimension, Rias said to her friend. She turned towards Naruto and spoke. This is my Fuku Bucko and my queen, peace, Himejima Akeno. Nice to meet ya Akeno-chan. Naruto greeted happily. I'm Uzumaki Naruto, you can call me Naruto. It's a pleasure to meet you Naruto-kun. Ufufu. She greeted back. Naruto smiled widely. He turned towards Rias. So I'm going to be meeting the rest of your devil clan, right? He asked. I suppose that's one way of calling them. They are my peerage. A peerage is like a group of servants that serve under a high-class devil. Those belonging to the Gremory house are born as high-class devils and receive what is known as a set of evil pieces, Rias explained before pulling out a chess piece from her drawer. It was a rook, piece, but was an unusual red hue. This is one of my last pieces left, a rook piece. Yuto is a knight, and although I don't have an evil piece in me, since they are my peerage, I am a king. When you say servants, do you mean slaves? Naruto asked cautiously. Rias smiled and answered with no hesitation. Not my peerage, no. Some devils treat them as slaves or as their own personal harem, but not us of the Gremory group. It would be more accurate to call them my subordinates. Naruto nodded in understanding. That makes sense, I guess. Era. All this talk about our world, but we know nothing about yours, Naruto-kun. I don't think that's fair to us, is it? Akeno said in an almost teasing manner. Naruto smiled sheepishly before scratching his neck. When you're right, you're right. So go ahead, shoot. Kiba interjected with his own question. You called yourself a shinobi last night, what do you mean by that? Well, I was born in Konohagakure no Sato, a shinobi village in the Land of Fire. A shinobi is a ninja of the village. They're split into different ranks. Lowest in rank is a genin, right after that is a chunin. An elite ninja, and someone of high rank is a jonin. Then there is the Anbu Black Ops Corps. Finally, the most powerful ninja in the village, and the commander of all the shinobi forces is called the Hokage. Naruto explained. All those diplomatic lessons with Ero Sennin were paying off, he thought to himself. That seems simple enough. What rank were you? Rias asked. Naruto lowered his head in dejection. I was on a training trip for 2.5 years, so I'm still just a genin. He mumbled. How do you go up in rank? Kiba pressed, intent on keeping Naruto focused. Well, to go from genin to chunin there's an exam you have to take and then they promote you if you show the right skills to be a chunin. I only took the test once, but in the middle of it there was an invasion. We beat the invaders but the rest of the chunin exam was cancelled. Out of all the people that took the test only one person managed to become a chunin, and it wasn't me. I don't know if there was a jonin exam or not. In order to be put in Anbu you have to be picked by either the Hokage or by the Anbu commander. The new Hokage is selected by the current one, the advisors, and the fire daimyo. I see, it's not that different from going to a lower class devil to a higher class devil. Rias seemed to be in deep thought. So is anyone else coming? Naruto asked. There are 3 other members but you won't be able to meet them until after school. Speaking of which, could you give me some information about yourself? Rias asked with an obviously interested tone. Why? I need some basic information so that I can enroll you into this school. Her tone sounded as if she wasn't requesting it. Very skeptically, Naruto asked why once more. Rias sighed and spoke clearly. Think of it like this, it's a way to gather information about our world without it seeming suspicious. Naruto stayed silent and gave it some thought. I know I'm not the best at information gathering, not like Ero Sennin was, and she does have a point, but do I really want to go to school? Do I have much other choice? I'll go with it for now, but if it's stupid or a waste of time I'll stop going. Fine, for now I'll go along, but if it's stupid or something I'm not staying. I'm doing this for information gathering and to help repay you for the info you've given me. Naruto said. Rias smiled brightly at that. She turned to Kiba. Yuto, can you go and get the registration forms for me? She requested. Kiba, who had been staring out the window, turned towards her, gave a slight nod, and left the room. Seems like he's in a bad mood again. Naruto thought to himself. So Naruto-san, how strong would you say you are? Rias asked, genuinely curious. Naruto pondered on how to answer. He looked her in the eyes. I'm strong, but not the strongest. I still have a lot of training to do. Rias smiled a bit before handling her rook piece, twirling it gently. If you want to get stronger, how about you become my rook? A devil does have certain advantages over a human. She offered. Naruto seemed shocked. That's sudden. You just met me and you're offering me a position like that? Yep. Naruto stared at her in surprise. Give me a little time to think about it. When I came to this world I never thought I would be offered to become a devil. Hell, I didn't even know what the hell a devil was. Take all the time you need. Rias nodded. The rest of time was spent in a comfortable silence. Naruto mostly wandered the room looking at the various artifacts and paraphernalia, asking random questions. Kiba entered the room, after knocking of course, and handed the documents to Rias. He headed over to the window once again and stared into the distance. After handling all the documents and getting the information from Naruto, wait, height, age, etc. Rias had Akeno deliver them to the office and looked at Naruto. She reached into her desk and tossed a package towards him. Naruto caught the package lazily and opened it. Inside was an outfit that looked exactly like Kiba's school uniform. You keep a spare male uniform in your drawer? Nope, I had Kiba measure you in your sleep. Wah, how? I mean I would have felt something. I had my familiar cast a sleeping spell on you while he measured you. Rias chirped. Naruto stared at Kiba warily. I trusted you, man. What the hell? He cried as he gave Kiba a look of betrayal. Kiba looked over from the window and gave a small smile. Naruto swore he saw a hint of mischievousness coming from his fellow blonde. That little. I'll get him back. Naruto roared mentally. He gave Kiba a scathing look and turned back towards Rias. You had this all planned since I left last night, didn't you? He accused. Rias smiled a way only a devil could. Perhaps, Fufu. Naruto sighed wearily. Fine, I guess it doesn't matter right now. You got a changing room or something? Down the hall to the right. After nodding in acknowledgement, he left the room to change. Several minutes later Naruto came back in dressed in Kuo Academy's male uniform, sans his Hite 8 which a plain black bandana replaced. Stupid ass. Stuffy. Orange-less. Asshole. Naruto mumbled to himself. He looked at Rias in the face and bluntly said, I don't like this uniform. Raising an eyebrow, she motioned for him to explain. It's stuffy, uncomfortable to move in, and this shirt absolutely sucks. Plus, there's no orange. And who the hell invented this dumbass jacket? It's the most restricting thing ever. He complained. Well, this school is somewhat flexible on how you wear your uniform, so if it helps you can leave your shirt unbuttoned and your blazer off. Kiba explained. Naruto all but tore off the blazer and ripped open the shirt, exposing his black undershirt. Much better. Now it's not stuffy. Still sucks though. Shaking her head at Naruto's antics, which, oddly enough, made her lower her guard around him, Rias let him vent out his irritation with the uniform. A knock sounded before Akeno entered the room. Bucko, he's registered now. Ufufu, she said before laying the completed forms on Rias' desk. Second year Uzumaki Naruto, 176 centimeters, 66 kilogram. Born in Oizumi, Gunma in Kanto. Studied abroad in several countries briefly. Rias read aloud. More or less inconspicuous, nobody from that area attends Kuo Academy. Gunma? Kanto? What are those? And what does abroad mean? Naruto questioned. Kanto is a region in Japan, Gunma is a prefecture. Abroad means in a different country. Oh, Naruto nodded as if he understood. I have no idea what the hell she's talking about. I'll just play along for now. Do you understand? Rias asked. Yeah, I got it. He replied without hesitation. If worse comes to worse, I'll just wing it. I managed to get you into Kiba's homeroom. He'll be able to help you get settled. At the mention of his name, Kiba turned and nodded at Naruto. Naruto smiled brightly at Kiba. Yosh, let's get this damn day over with. Naruto exclaimed as he grabbed Kiba and began to drag him towards the door. Naruto looked over his shoulder and shouted towards Rias. Thanks for everything today. We'll see y'all later. Rias looked somewhat shocked. Era, that was an interesting way to leave. With him and Aiz-kun things look like they'll be getting louder now. Well, that is if he chooses to join us. Ufufu. Akeno commented. I have a good feeling that he will, eventually. He had that look in his eyes that said he wanted, know that he needed to get stronger. Something must have happened, something bad, and something powerful. I just hope that whatever it was, didn't follow him here. If it did, I fear only Oni-sama and his peerage could stop it. Rias spoke seriously. After a moment of silence filled with a strange tension, Rias broke the silence and smiled towards Akeno. I think it's time we get ready for homeroom, don't you? Ufufu, of course, Rias. Akeno replied with a laugh. Kiba had managed to shake off Naruto's hand from his arm and was leading him towards his class. So what is homeroom? Naruto asked from behind Kiba. You'll see. Kiba responded coyly. Stupid pretty boys, always stuck with them. Naruto thought to himself. Soon enough Kiba and Naruto walked to a door labeled, 2C. It seems that class is about to start. You wait here until the teacher calls for you. Got it. Kiba turned to walk in and Naruto missed his coy glance. Good luck, Naruto-san. Kiba walked into the classroom with a somewhat distant look. The girls in the class wondered why. For the past couple of days he had been distant and they were getting worried. He sat at his desk near the window and stared out of it. He had also done that for the past couple days. Don't you think Kiba-sama looks so dreamy when he's distant? One girl asked in hushed tones. Definitely yes. He looks hot, but do you think he's alright? Another questioned. I don't know. The girls stopped their conversations as the teacher walked in. After the morning routine of greeting him, he cleared his throat and asked for everyone's attention. Everyone, it happened on short notice, but we have a new student transferring to this class. He started. Already hushed whispers filled the room. New student? Is it a girl or a boy? What do you think? Generally filled the conversations. Ahem. The teacher cleared his throat and the room quieted. They are from Gunma and they studied abroad in different countries, so life here must be very different, but still I want you to treat them with the kindness Ko Academy is known for. You can come in now. He finished and called outside. The room was silent as the door opened and in walked a blonde, spiky-haired individual. He was tall and had tan skin. He wore the school's uniform without the blazer and with the shirt open, exposing his tight black undershirt. His muscles coiled and uncoiled as he walked. He wore a black bandana that flowed behind as he walked. As he reached the podium and turned, all the girls swooned. His eyes were orbs of azure, almost crystalline in nature. His 6 whisker marks, 3 on each side, gave him a gentle but feral look. However, the best feature, according to the girls of the class, was his smile. It was radiant, confident, and practically lit the world for these girls. Yo, I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Nice to meet ya. He spoke with a rough tenor that lit the loins of the girls, and oddly enough, one of the boys, on fire. Kya, Naruto-sama. Half the class shouted. Naruto looked confused and a bit worried. He had seen this before, but where? The teacher had instructed him to take the seat at the far end of the class near the window. As he walked, he spotted Kiba sitting a couple of seats in front of his and called to him. Yo, Kiba, so this is where you sit, huh? He greeted. Kiba turned and gave a small nod. I don't know my way around the school, so you'll help, right? Again a nod from Kiba. Kya, can this be? BL, boys love, yaoi. Kiba-sama. First that perv Issei dug his claws into you. Now it's Naruto-sama. Several girls cried, most of them sported heavy blushes. Naruto eyed them weirdly before nodding at Kiba and moved towards his seat. Sitting down he surveyed the class. It was a lot different from the Shinobi Academy. Instead of long desks shared by 3 people, it was individual desks. With his enhanced hearing, he could hear all the girls whispering about him and he was embarrassed by what they had to say. He's so hot. Do you think he's single? Do you think he's got a big D? Kitomi. What? You're all thinking it. Naruto could barely believe these girls. They were talking about him Uzumaki Naruto as if he was another Uchiha Sasuke. He now realized where he had seen these strange creatures before. They were like Sasuke's fangirls, back when they were in the academy. This can't be happening. Oh boy, I saw the kind of things they tried with Sasuke. That bastard Kiba knew this. That's twice in one day he got one over on me. I underestimated him. I'll definitely get him back for this. He roared mentally. He spent the entirety of homeroom glaring pettily at Kiba's back. The end of homeroom couldn't come quick enough. As the bell rang, Naruto quickly grabbed Kiba and bolted. Getting to a secluded area, Naruto turned to Kiba. You're an asshole, you know that. You could have warned me about them. Kiba gave Naruto a look as if he was crazy. Naruto-san, I don't know what you're talking about. Naruto gave a withering glare. I'm watching you, he warned. Kiba seemed unperturbed by Naruto's hidden threat. Ahem, I should show you around the school then, he said evenly. Naruto dropped his glare and nodded with enthusiasm. Sure, I'd like to see the rest of this school. He agreed. The previous topic effectively dropped. The rest of the day passed by relatively quickly. Unfortunately for Naruto, he didn't have any packed lunch. However, thanks to his recently acquired fangirls, he managed to avoid starving. However, he may have led a few of them on a couple of times. Now he was heading to the old school building, which he had found out exactly what it was during Kiba's tour, along with Kiba to meet the rest of the Gremory group. As they approached the clubroom, Kiba stopped Naruto. There will be 3 members you haven't met. A brown-haired boy around our age, a blonde girl who's also our age, and a younger white-haired girl. He explained. Why are you telling me this? Naruto asked. I have things I need to do, so I won't be joining you. I figured I should at least tell you what our remaining members looked like. Kiba said. He turned his head after speaking and glared at nothing. He said something to himself that sounded something like, Excalibur. Naruto looked worried for his new friend. You sure? Yeah, this is something I had to do myself. I see, it's revenge, isn't it? Kiba looked at Naruto in mild shock. How could you tell? Naruto gave a hollow chuckle. I've seen that face on a close friend of mine before. He was obsessed with killing the man who murdered his clan, his brother. Did he get his revenge? Kiba asked, eager to know if his mission was possible, even though the circumstances were different. He did, but he betrayed his friends and comrades to get the power to do it. He tried to kill me too, even after admitting I was, truly, his best friend. He went to a madman who was only interested in using him. Kiba's expression grew strained. I won't stop you from your revenge, I have no right. However, I wish you wouldn't throw away your bonds so easily. Kiba hesitated. You've given me something to think about, but I will not give up this mission of mine. Thank you for telling me this. Go and meet everyone else. Kiba said before using his night speed and dashed away. Naruto looked at Kiba sadly as he dashed away. Deciding to put it off for now, he turned towards the room and entered. As he entered, he saw the white-haired girl on one of the sofas eating what looked to be snacks, but he couldn't see her face. Rias was at her desk, Akeno standing off to the side as usual. Opposite the white-haired girl were two people. One of them was a boy his age with brown eyes and brown hair that seemed to resemble Sasuke's hair, only bigger and less like a chicken's ass. The other was a girl with long light blonde hair and light green eyes. Ah, Naruto-san, glad you made it. Where's Yuto? Rias greeted. Kiba? He said he had things to take care of. So, who are these guys? Naruto said with a warm smile. The brown-haired boy stood and bowed. Hyodo Issei, he said before standing straight again. But you can call me Eyes. Nice to meet you, I'm Buckhouse, Pawn. The blonde girl also stood up and bowed. I'm Asia Argento, you can call me Asia. Bucko-san made me her bishop. The white-haired girl turned but didn't stand. She had golden-colored eyes and a blank expression. Her hair had a small black cat-themed hairpin. Taju Kaneko, Rook, she said softly. Deciding to make a grand introduction similar to Jiraiya, Naruto struck a kabuki pose. I am the man known from the far east to the far west. Men revere me and women love me. I am the man who has trained at Mount Myoboku and survived. I am the Gamma Sennin Uzumaki Naruto. At your service, he announced with enthusiasm. The rest of the group was stunned, before Akeno smiled. Era, such a boisterous introduction, are you sure you're a sage? Ufufu. Akeno teased. Hey, I trained hard to be a sage. Naruto argued back, dropping his pose. Suddenly he began crying crocodile tears. All those nights eating bugs, and that damn stick. It was truly hell. Sennin, do you use senjutsu? Kaneko asked suddenly, her interest piqued. Naruto stared at her in shock for a second. You know about senjutsu? Kaneko nodded. She looked at him intensely before going back to her treat. Naruto stared for a moment longer before he wrote her actions off as something apparently normal. Anyo, Naruto-san? Ice called out. Just call me Naruto. What's up? Bucko said you were a shinobi, are you? Damn right I am, and a good one too tt Ibeo. Naruto replied happily. Do you think you can show us a ninja technique? Ice asked excitedly. His eyes had a glimmer in them. Era, I think that's a good idea. Akeno joined. Yes, I think so too. Rias inputted. Nin, Kaneko said quietly. Naruto rubbed the back of his neck sheepishly. I guess something simple wouldn't hurt. He said. He put his hands together in a familiar cross-hand seal. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. He shouted and immediately 10 copies of himself appeared around Eyes, Asia, and Kaneko. Whoa, Naruto, this is awesome. Are they real? Eyes asked. One of the Naruto clones clapped him on the shoulder. Damn right we are. That's so useful Naruto-san. Asia told him. It's more useful than pervy Eyes senpai. Kaneko commented somewhat coldly to Eyes. I'm sorry for being such a pervert, Kaneko-sama. Eyes cried crocodile tears. Haha, you're funny Eyes, I like you. Naruto laughed. Thank you for your kindness Naruto-sama. Eyes continued to cry, only in gratitude this time. Rias looked at the clone nearest her and touched it, confirming that they were solid. Is that all you can do, Naruto-san? She asked. Naruto dispelled his clones and spoke. Can you drop the honorific Rias-chan? It sounds weird coming from you, but no, I can do a lot more than that. He missed the look of shock from eyes. Fufu, alright Naruto. Have you considered my offer? Naruto looked Rias in the eyes before sighing. For now, I'm gonna have to say no. I mean, I just got here and all. I wanna get settled in before making a huge decision. So that's my answer. Rias nodded, albeit somewhat sadly. I understand, the offer is always open. She said with a smile. Thanks. You don't mind if I stick around your group for a while though, right? He asked. Of course not, but I would like it if you could help out around here. Seems fair, sure. I'll do what I can. Good to hear. Rias said ecstatically. Ah, I need to loosen up. Anybody up for a spar? Naruto asked as he began stretching his arms. No one responded for a moment, before Kaneko and Akeno stepped forward. I will fight, Naruto-senpai. Era, this seems like fun. Ufufu. Rias sighed before checking the time. Deciding that enough time had passed since the end of school, she gave the go-ahead. After moving to the courtyard, and switching back into his jumpsuit and Hite 8, Naruto stood opposite of Kaneko and Akeno. Alright, come at me with all you got. He goaded. As long as you don't seriously hurt each other, everything is fair game. Begin whenever you're ready, Rias said. A moment of stillness covered the battlefield. Some unseen signal flared and Kaneko rushed Naruto, intent on punching him. She raised her fist and swung with plenty of force. An explosion of dust and dirt covered the field. She had felt her hand connect and felt confident she had hit him. As the dust settled, she widened her eyes. Naruto had stopped her fist with one hand with what seemed like no effort. He looked at her and smiled. Come on Neko-chan, I said everything you got. He teased before tossing her away and dodging a bolt of lightning. That's interesting. A lightning user. Sorry to say Akeno-chan, but I have the advantage. Naruto told her before casting some hand seals. Futon. Repusho. He shouted and shot a blast of pressurized wind at her. Akeno, not expecting such an attack, only barely dodged. She righted herself and spoke lightly. Era, seems like I underestimated you. Ufufu. It won't happen again, she said before she conjured more lightning and cast it towards Naruto. It appears that her Sado type has come out. Naruto back-flipped before he turned and blocked Kaneko's strike. I fight multiple opponents all the time. It'll take more than that to get me by surprise, he said. He leapt back and performed his signature hand seal. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. He made a single clone and had it engage Akeno while he had some one-on-one time with Rias, Rook. Come on Kaneko-chan, when you punch you have to put all your weight behind it while not leaving any opening. He told her as if he was training her. Kaneko didn't answer but seemed to shift her stance a little before she launched at him. Following his advice and putting her full weight behind her punch, she struck out. For the first time since they began, Naruto was forced to dodge her punch. As she soared by him, she struck the ground and created a large crater. Now that is a punch. You still left yourself wide open, but damn, if that had hit me I'd definitely have a couple of broken bones. He complimented. Kaneko gave a small unnoticeable blush at his praise. Thank you, Naruto-senpai. After all this we'll start training. How's that sound? I'll turn you into a kick-ass, Rook. He offered. Kaneko looked at him strangely before nodding. Thank you, Naruto-senpai, she said before charging him once more. At the same time, Naruto's clone was facing off against Akeno. Era, am I being underestimated? Akeno asked. The clone shook his head. Not at all, boss is just trying to teach Neko-chan some things. He's seen what she's capable of, now he's trying out her potential. Besides, I may be a clone but I was made tougher than other clones. He told her. Ufufu, then let's get started, she said as she launched a bolt of lightning towards Naruto. Naruto sidestepped and began to cast hand seals. Futon. Daitopa, he shouted as he gathered wind chakra in his throat and let it roar. Caught off guard by the strong wind current, Akeno was launched in the air. Her skirt flapped wildly, revealing her lacy black underwear. Naruto blushed but refused to take his eyes off her now flying form. Taking a kunai and running a sliver of wind chakra into it, he tossed it at her. Dodging it just barely, Akeno was surprised when a large portion of her uniform was torn. Looking at her uniform, she took her eyes off Naruto's clone. That split second of inattentiveness cost her. From seemingly out of nowhere a punch struck her side, sending her tumbling back towards the ground at high speeds. Crashing on the ground, she immediately stood back up. Her uniform had been ripped in several places now, revealing a lacy black bra to match. Ufufu, we've only met today and you're already stripping me, Naruto-kun. My, how bold, she teased. Naruto blushed hotly before responding. That's not it. Your clothes are just too flimsy, that's all, he said quickly, attempting to hide his embarrassment. Akeno gathered more lightning and launched it towards Naruto. Naruto quickly dodged and launched another wind-laced kunai. Expecting such a response, Akeno easily made a wide dodge. Ufufu, now that I've seen your trick, it won't be so easy to get me again. We'll see, he said as ran towards her. Using the basics of Frog Fu, Naruto shot his left fist faster than Akeno could respond. It made a direct connection and sent her soaring across the field. Flipping gracefully, Akeno righted herself in mid-air and hovered. Era, you were so quick to pound your flesh into mine, I could hardly make such a comeback, Tilda, she said in a seductive tone. Naruto blushed hotly from ear to ear. Meanwhile, eyes could only stare in awe. Naruto is so strong. He's even beating Akeno-san. Rias chuckled lightly. Although, neither of them are going all out. Eyes turned towards Rias. How strong do you think Naruto is, bucko? He asked. Rias sighed before putting on an intense face. Personally, if we were to fight him, I think we would lose. I can sense his power, and although it's different from a devil's magic, he has a massive store of power. It's easily comparable to a very high-class devil, higher than myself at the very least. Whoa, that's too much, Aiz exclaimed. Asia nodded her head. I'm glad Naruto-san is a very kind person. Rias smiled towards Asia. As am I, Asia-chan. As am I. The fight had started escalating to close quarters battle. Akeno wielded her element like a blade, while Naruto held to his wind-laced kunai. They started towards each other, but Akeno glanced over in a different direction. Era, it seems the original is finished with Kaneko-chan. Shall we call this a draw? Akeno offered as she dispelled her lightning. The Naruto clone looked in the distance to see the original walking side by side with Kaneko talking animatedly, the latter of whom seemed to be paying rapt attention. He sighed and shrugged. I guess so. Thanks for the spar, Akeno-chan, it was fun. Ufufu, likewise. Naruto smirked and dispelled just as the original was reaching their location. Unbeknownst to the Gremory, every weapon the clone used dispelled as well. And then, there was this one time when I was 10. I managed to dye all of the teachers' heads blonde, it was glorious. Kaneko nodded. Funny, senpai. Era, looks like Kaneko-chan has warmed up to you already. Akeno said to them as they approached. Hey Akeno-chan, great battle. Too bad we couldn't finish. Next time I want to face you personally. Ufufu, it's a date then. They walked the short distance back to the group to see Aiz's jaw hanging as well as a look of surprise from Rias and Asia. That was awesome, Aiz shouted. You were great, Naruto-san. Asia complimented. To be able to handle Akeno so easily, very impressive. Rias nodded approvingly. Naruto rubbed the back of his neck in embarrassment and chuckled. Well, I haven't had a chance to spar with comrades in a while. So I had a little fun. Still, Akeno herself is a very powerful devil. To take her on, even as a clone, and come out unscathed is just short of overwhelming. Akeno decided to add her own input. Ufufu, oh yes. He really showed that he could have dominated me if he had wanted to. She said almost lustfully. Naruto blushed at her teasing. The girls back in Konoha had never been such an open flirt to him. It was staggering to say the least. Rias giggled at Naruto's reaction, she thought it was cute. She called out to Naruto to get his attention. Naruto, could you come here a moment? I want to show you some of the work that devils do. You can help out with some of the basic tasks. Naruto walked towards her and nodded. So what kind of jobs do you take? He asked. I figured you could help us pass out these leaflets to people, for now at least. Since normal people have lost the ability to draw magic circles to summon us, we give these pre-drawn circles to them instead. She explained. Since you don't know the area, Aiz-kun, can you show Naruto around? Of course, bucko. It'd be a help have Naruto help us, seeing as it's mostly my job. Aiz responded in excitement. Fufu, you're certainly enthusiastic. Rias complimented. Yosh. Alright, let's go. Teach me all you can, Aiz. Naruto also became very excited. The duo of boisterous men soon left, with much enthusiasm no less, leaving the quartet of women to discuss their latest acquaintance. So, Akeno, what do you think? Rias asked. Ufufu. He is very powerful. I was attacking quite seriously and he was barely affected. If you ask me, if he were truly to go all out, none of us would survive. He might even be able to fight Shippuuryu-sama and win. Akeno confessed. Naruto-senpai is very strong. Kaneko inputted. I see, it's as I thought. Naruto-san would have been a great help versus against Razor-sama, right? Asia asked. Indeed, Asia-chan, but what's past is past. No doubt he will be a great help to us later. His shinobi techniques are interesting to say the least. I wonder what else he can do. I just wish he had accepted my offer now. Oh well, she sighed. Naruto-senpai said he'll train me. I'm happy to have a teacher. Kaneko said softly. Rias looked at Kaneko with what could only be described as love for a younger sibling. We're happy for you, Kaneko-chan. I know that it's been hard finding someone to train and spar with you. Kaneko nodded at Rias' statement. Well then, it's time to work. Come on, let's go. Rias happily stated. Hi, bucko. Everyone chorused. Several hours had passed before Naruto returned with Aiz. They entered the room talking animatedly. You're very popular, Naruto. I never thought that you'd hand out that many leaflets so quickly. Aiz complimented. Yeah, me neither. Strange how most of them were women though. Naruto, I think they might have liked you. I guess, but why were they blushing? They liked you. Haven't you ever had a girlfriend? Not really, when I was a kid most of the girls didn't like me. Really? But you're a handsome boy. Like Kiba. Are you hitting on me, Aiz? I don't swing that way, besides, Kiba's more of a pretty boy, if you ask me. What? Of course not. It's true though. I've already heard rumors about you from the girls in my class. They're already calling you and Kiba the blonde gentleman. Blonde gentleman? That's lame. Naruto exclaimed, suddenly affronted. Neither had noticed the amused looks of both Akeno and Rias. Ahem, I take it the job went well? Rias asked. Sorry, hehe. Yeah, they seemed very excited to get a handout from me. Guess they'll be disappointed when I don't show up then. Fufu, seems like. Anyways, I have something to discuss with you. Shoot, do you any money? She asked the obvious. Ah, that's kinda obvious. I have no money from this world, I already checked. Which means you have no means of supporting yourself, correct? Well, I have some ideas on how to make some money. I just have to make sure I've got what I need, but for now, nope. Naruto told her before rubbing his neck. Since you're not a devil, you cannot receive payment such as we do, so I've decided to compensate you for your time. Rias said as she tossed an envelope at him. Inside was 30,000 yen and a key. That key opens an apartment a couple of blocks from Aiz-kun's home. The first month has been paid and that money is for food. The monthly rent, however, is up to you to make up. Naruto stared at the package in wonder. This girl is a really nice person. I have to make sure to pay her back. He thought to himself. As Rias was about to continue speaking, a small raven appeared from the window. A stray devil has appeared in Rias Gremory's territory. I ask that you please eliminate it. A male voice escaped from the small bird. Rias blinked before standing and moving quickly towards Akeno. Located Akeno quickly. Akeno looked serious and nodded. Hi, bucko. Naruto turned to Aiz and asked a question. What's a stray devil? Aiz looked surprised that Naruto asked him but responded quickly. They're devils that have abandoned their master or killed them. So we hunt them before they cause trouble for humans. Naruto nodded in understanding. I see, so they're almost like missing nen. He mumbled to himself. Aiz eyed him weirdly but Naruto waved him off. Later, he said simply. Rias turned towards Naruto. Since Yuto is absent, I ask that you join us and provide backup. She asked seriously. Naruto nodded quickly. Sure, I would have gone anyways. I want to learn all about this world. Rias smiled and thanked him. Kaneko, who had been back in her previous position eating snacks once again, turned towards Naruto and offered him some. Naruto smiled and accepted the offer. Thanks Neko-chan, he said as he rubbed her head. Kaneko seemed to relax into his hand. I've located it, bucko. Akeno announced. Great. Everyone, let's move out. Standing outside an abandoned warehouse, The second time for the Gremory group, the team stood. This is where it is. Akeno confirmed. Naruto tapped into Kurama's chakra, just barely enough to feel emotions. Luckily, he was behind the group of devils. Holy fuck, that's some seriously fucked up thing in there. He thought to himself, the intense negative emotion causing him to curse in surprise. Bucko, Ice called out. Right, I approve. Rias responded. Yosh. Promotion, Queen, Ice called and he seemed to glow for a brief instant. Naruto made a mental note to ask later. Making a cross seal he summoned a clone. Nodding at the original, the clone dashed into some nearby trees. Turning towards the group, he smiled sheepishly. Just in case. Well, let's go in. Rias told them as she walked inside the building. The rest soon followed. Several minutes later found the group inside a large spacious room. Gah, this smell is blood. Naruto said in disgust. I hear something. My next meal? Smells ripe. Perfect for crunching. Gihihi. A deep voice boomed. Naruto tensed and slid into a battle stance. Shit, it's big and close by. He cursed. The beast that came out from behind the wall was mortifying. It was abnormally large. A broad torso accompanied by a pair of strong legs. Large scales covered most of its body. When Naruto looked closely, a long tail as thick as a tree trunk swayed behind it. Looking up, the group stared in disgust at the ogre-like face. Naruto looked it in the eye and smirked. You are one ugly mother fu. It reacted quickly. It threw a rock, boulder, near its feet using the massive tail behind it. Naruto reacted even quicker. Summoning a clone wordlessly, he instantly made a Rasengan and smashed it into the boulder, grinding it into pieces. I am Gungar, he shouted, and you are my prey. Akeno, Rias shouted. Hide Tilda. Lightning flared from her hand menacingly. Era, I can't take you too lightly now, but let's try to get along, ufu. She stuck out her hand and fired a large bolt of electricity towards Gungar. Rias smirked as she saw Akeno's attack appear to hit. Speaking to Naruto, she told him, Akeno is known as the Priestess of Thunder within the devil community. Pitiful. That barely stung. Gihihi. You're pathetic. Gungar laughed as the electricity bounced off his scales. Akeno-san, we have to get past the scales. Ice shouted. No shit. Come on Kaneko-chan, let's skin this guy. Kaneko nodded at Naruto before tightening her gloves. Follow my lead, that good for you Rias? Naruto asked. Rias nodded. Go for it. Roger. Distract him, I'll try and get through his scales. Hi. Kaneko launched herself, fist poised, and smashed into Gungar's chest. Gungar slid back several feet. Oh, that tickled. You're not the only rook. Gihihi, he said as he knocked Kaneko backwards, unaware of Naruto charging towards his backside. Watch your back asshole. Rasengan, Naruto shouted as he drilled his spinning orb of chakra into the devil's back. Oof, Gungar shouted as he felt the jutsu drill past his scales into his flesh. Moving away quickly, Naruto called out. Akeno-chan, now's your chance. Hi, I really hate being underestimated you know. Having you call my attack pathetic? I just can't hold back, cry for me yes? She said with a sadistic glint in her eyes. Gathering an extreme amount of lightning in her hands she launched at the exposed portion of Gungar's back. Gah, he cried. Naruto wondered, if maybe since it always had such tough scales, if it had a low pain threshold. Ufufu. That's it, surely you have more energy than that? How about some more? Yua. Naruto eyed her warily. Looking at Rias, she answered his unasked question. Akeno is also the ultimate sadist. Scary? You have no idea Naruto-san. Eyes agreed. What the hell do you do anyways? I was getting ready to use gift on one of you. It lets me transfer my power to someone else. Awesome. So is that all you can do? Well, my partner is still not answering me, so this is all I can do for now. Partner? Naruto asked, ignoring the cries from the devil. Somehow, they had moved to the far end of the warehouse without him noticing. Ah, he's the dragon sealed up in my left arm, my sacred gear. Ah, well tell me about it later, when we're not on the job hehe. Right, by now, Akeno looked as if she was finished with the stray devil. She was walking towards the fallen monster. Era, monster-san. It looks like you're all done. I would finish you now but I'll leave it for my master. She all but gloated. Naruto looked at her with a meek expression. She must have been pissed when he called her pathetic. Naruto tensed as he saw the tail twitch and then swing at her. Akeno. He tried to warn. He ran towards her. I can't make it. I have to dispel that clone. Time slowed for a moment as the tail swung at the unaware Akeno. Naruto sped towards her with all his speed. Akeno turned in shock and stared at the tail that was less than a foot from her face. She couldn't dodge at that speed and she had no time to defend. Bracing herself as well as she could, she waited. Not a chance. Naruto screamed. He was in front of Akeno, holding back the tail with his hand. His head was hung low, he seemed to be trembling with anger. You bastard? Naruto raised his head to show golden eyes filled with anger. Pushing the monster back single-handedly, Naruto glared at it. I'm pissed right now. He made 2 clones and had them make a Rasengan in each hand, which then grew to enormous sizes. Go, he said simply. The 2 clones dashed at incredible speeds. Senpo. Sho Udama Rasenrengan. Both of them cried. Gungar managed to dodge one, albeit barely, but was struck head-on by the second. Ga, a senjutsu wielder. Here? I've never heard of one here. He screamed at Naruto. I'm new in town. It doesn't matter anyways, you're finished. Naruto replied as he created another 2 clones. He held out his hand and the room was filled with an ominous ringing sound. Akeno took this chance to make a wisely made retreat. Gungar thrashed as the sound drilled into his cranium. Ah, this damn ringing. What are you doing? Naruto was holding a large spinning orb with 4 blades jutting out. Reaching behind him, he gave a cold glare. Everyone move back, this will get dangerous, Futon. Rasen Shuriken. He said as he launched the powerful jutsu from his hand. He threw it. I shouted in surprise as Kaneko dragged him away. The rotating sphere of destructive power hurled towards the monster at frightening speeds. No, damn you, who are you? The beast cried as the attack closed the very small distance quickly. Naruto spoke in a white tone. The name's Uzumaki Naruto, remember it in hell bastard. After saying his piece, he dashed as far as he could from the stray devil. When the attack impacted, it expanded until it encompassed the entirety of Gungar. It sliced through his tough scales like a hot knife through butter and bifurcated him before detonating. The Rias group stared in shock as Naruto's attack literally disintegrated the lower half of and made the top fly towards the group. Gwa! Gungar cried as he landed in a heap at Rias' feet. Rias glared at him and raised her hand. I have full faith in my servant's ability, but what you did is still unforgivable. Perish, she said as she wielded her powers of destruction and eradicated what was left of Gungar. Naruto ran over to the group. He had already let the nature chakra seep back into the earth. Era, Naruto-kun, you have my genuine gratitude. Although, I would have been fine, a scratch at worst. Akeno told him. Naruto scratched his head sheepishly. Sorry, I have made such good friendships with you all I just reacted. He said, forcing a smile. Damn, I overreacted. We're not at war here, I gotta remember that. Akeno gave him a calculating look for a moment before smiling. Of course, no harm done, as you can see. Ufufu, she said amicably. Indeed, Naruto, I appreciate your help. Alright, mission complete, Rias said cheerfully. Eyes looked down in dejection. In the end I was useless. He seemed to cry. Naruto patted him awkwardly on his shoulder. There's always next time. Somehow, Eyes seemed to get even more depressed. Asia just gave him an encouraging smile. Later that night, Naruto laid down on his relatively small mattress. Eyes had taken the time to show him to his new apartment and now Naruto was left staring at his Spartan-style room. Things got pretty crazy today Ibeo. He mumbled to himself. That Akeno likes to tease me. Asia-chan pretty shy, but really nice. Kinda reminds me of Hinata. Kaneko-chan is another weird one. But she seems to know about senjutsu, and that's another thing. The nature energy feels weird here. There are times when I feel this dark energy flow within me. Kinda like Biju chakra but not as strong. Other times it feels really light and airy. Like a light breeze. It's so weird. I got stuck with another pervert. But he doesn't seem like a bad guy. Hee, you would be proud. Nay, Shisho, master. Naruto said somberly. Looking out the window, his thoughts turned towards his only companion in this journey. Sasuke, I wonder what you've discovered so far. Probably something cool, tch. Teme. Turning over he slowly closed his eyes. Good night, did you do what I asked? Hi, the Gremory group came as you said they would. And, well, the thing is, there was an anomaly. Anomaly? Hi, someone else came with the group. Someone powerful. Could it be another Longinus? I don't know, sir. I could hardly see him move. However, I did manage to record several of his abilities. Oh? He can utilize senjutsu to a degree I've only ever seen in Nekomata, no even better. I believe he is a perfect senjutsu user. Interesting, so in the end, Gungar proved his worth, for a devil at least. Ufufu. Hi, with this new data I believe that I could come up with several counter-strategies. Good work, now be gone. Hi, Kokebiel-sama. That's all for now. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments.